Hello there, and welcome to this session doing King's Indian Defense Tactics for the Black Side on Lichess.org. We are doing what I call tactic after the tactic, which is to say, after we win material with bishop h6, queen h6, queen takes b2, queen c1 defending the knight and the rook, and then queen swings over to g2, hitting the rook, hitting the knight. If the rook moves, we take the check. Moves, takes a check again, and we win the rook. If the rook doesn't move, let's say knight comes out, we're taking the check, and the king comes out, and it's a real sad day for white. But in that position, let's imagine knight here. Is there some way to get... I think the best defense here is, considering, looking at the line and seeing how winning it is for black on the king side. I think the best defense is bishop h6, queen h6, queen here. And I think white should find a way to give me this rook and save their bishop. So I think a good example of that is queen h6, the bishop comes back to d3. This way, after queen takes check, the knight comes here. So the big question is, after bishop d3, am I taking on b1 or am I coming over to g1 anyways? g2 anyways. I think I still go for g2. What a mess. Wow. If I'm white in this position, I'm probably trying to target the b7 pawn at some point. How that's going to happen is a moment of confusion, is lost on me, especially considering there's going to be no rook coming to the b file, because all the rooks are going to be gone, basically. And I don't think I'm going to fall for any of this. So I don't know what white's trying to do there. I know what black's plan is, though. Black's plan is simply to play rook ac8, maybe possibly double. I can even consider f5 if it allows me to get at the king. If it doesn't allow me to get at the king, I don't see a reason to risk it. Okay, knight in, and then bishop comes back. Okay, yeah, that's a lot more reasonable than all of the nonsense that I was saying. That's a lot more reasonable. Just move the knight back, sure. And that covers the check and all the good stuff. Yeah, sure. You're just to exchange up, I think, here, right? Two minors, rook, and a minor piece. And the queen's on h6, so there's always, chances for black, or for white. Some sort of nonsense is very possible in that position. I could screw this up. Why is the first problem always the longest one? Looks like some sort of amazigh rug. It literally looks like a Moroccan amazigh, woman's tattoo. Okay, so there are a couple of different lines, right? And how I consolidate depends on what line they go for. I think that line gives me gives white the best chances. So I think that's the one that's most worth examining. To get that pawn all the way to b7, protected by the queen, and possibly backed up by the bishop and get it winning the d6 pawn. I think that looks like the most dangerous option for white. So I think after queen b3, bishop here, I think that I'm going to give up the d6 pawn and I'm going to play queen b6, rook takes d6, and then something like queen takes b7, theoretically with check, in order to win b7. Yep, queen b3 is one of Stockfish's top options. Takes. Interesting, e takes f3. I don't think that's very testing. Bishop takes f3, let's just say it's the more natural response. You do get this, but I thought this line maybe gave black more chances here, and here, right? That seemed like it was going to give black more chances. Interesting. Very interesting. Wow. So you have to see all of that, right? Because otherwise you're just losing back the exchange. You're still winning, but right, it's not easy. Let's maybe do one or two more. Oof. Oof. Right, so knight check, king over, queen here hitting the bishop and also threatening knight check. If pawn takes, then rook takes his mate, and if, well, this pawn can't take, it's pinned. So I'm not certain if I can change up the move order somehow. Knight check, king over, queen here, bishop here is probably what I'm most worried about. Then I have pawn here hitting the queen and also hitting the bishop. So I think that's the line that gets played. G6 is not really an option. It's kind of an option, but not really an option. I would have knight takes G6, and then king G2, bishop check, king back, and I think that's going to be mate somehow. At the very least, I'm winning the full rook in any case. Like, at the very least, I'm still winning the full rook. Let's try to think of other defenses before deciding how I want to consolidate. Queen here not working. Well, I mean, I suppose, right? I suppose that if queen here, you just have knight h check. Well, knight check. You could pick up the rook there, but I think you just pick up the knight here. You're threatening the fork, right? And you're also threatening, you know, to check again with the knight or whatever. All right, so weaknesses in the black camp. B7's a bit tender. Nothing's attacking it at the moment. And this queen, I don't think is getting down to A7 anytime soon. That bishop's not moving anywhere in order to continue this attack. So I don't see any weaknesses in the black camp for now. So the plan is basically just continue attacking the king and maybe use this queen to pick up some of the queenside pawns. I can't really say more than that. Yeah, so I mentioned G6. G4 does similar things. G4, and then does knight check not work now? No, it still works. But I mean, I get it. I get it. Stockfish thinks that this is like more winning, but I think the human response is definitely this. This is what a person would play. All right, let us stop there for now. Thank you so much for following along with this King's Indian Tactics series, this Tactics After the Tactics session. I know that this is certainly helping me with my own chess vision, and if you're following along and solving the tactics, I hope it is helping you with yours. Until the next time, good luck with your chess journey. Bye for now.